Another Wednesday.
Another pod.
I'm liking these Wednesday episodes, and we're excited about this one. A little multi-guest podcast. We got Caden Irwin coming on the show. We got the number one overall pick, Patrick Baalman, coming on the show. 2 interviews, 2 great ones at that.
And our new editor.
Yeah, he's also on the show. There's a hint. It's one of those 2 guys. And Jack and I will give a little bit of our thoughts on the draft, the trade, number 2 pick, of course. That was big. Talking about Drew's decision there. And then a little whiff of the week to wrap it up with some little behind-the-scenes sneak peek.
Full pod
on deck. This is the Pipe It Up podcast. Cue the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pipe It Up podcast, the official podcast of MLW Wiffle Ball. Today is Wednesday, April 17th, and I am joined by my co-host, Jack Agner.
Howdy.
A lot to talk about today, Jack.
Yeah.
Gotta love it after a long off season.
We don't have to just ramble on for an hour about random stuff. We have a real MLW related agenda today.
We do.
Full agenda.
Which is exciting.
Yes.
Although, I'll be honest, this off season to me has felt significantly shorter.
It did feel shorter. I don't know. Maybe we're just getting better at the pod.
Maybe.
I think there's more things to talk about.
There was one pod, guys. Remember when I was in Germany, Jack, and you were back here and we had to cram one in?
Yep.
That was a good pod.
That was a pod.
I don't know what number it was, but if you can find that episode, I think it was called Greetings from Germany. That's like Jack and I at its core, just talking.
Just chatting.
Just getting through an hour for you guys.
Just grinding through an hour.
Putting out content for the people.
Give the people what they want.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir.
Today we have a good agenda. A lot to talk about. Let's start with the draft, of course, before we have our guests on. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, definitely go check out the MLW 2024 draft. That's what we're going to be discussing for the majority of this episode. For those that did see it, thank you for joining us. We are here to break it all down today. Here are the final results. Video people, you can see it on screen. Audio listeners, here you go. With the first overall pick, the Wildcats selected Patrick Baalman from the NWA out of St. Louis, Missouri. At number 2, here was the drama. We had a 3-team trade between the Cobras, Mallards, and the Gators. So this was originally the Cobras pick, but here's what happened. The Gators received the number 2 pick, the Mallards received Brendan Jorgensen from the Gators, and the Cobras received Caden Irwin and the number 6 pick from the Mallards. So now, at number 2 was the Gators selection, and they selected Jeremy Adams from VWL out of Verona, Wisconsin. At number 3, the Cats selected Ty Frensnick from Westridge Wiffle out of Brighton, Michigan. At number 4, the D-backs selected Carter Richard from the Bay City Wiffle Ball League. At number 5, the Preds selected Levi Fleer, also from Westridge Wiffle. At number 6, the Cobras selected Justin Esch, not a wiffle ball guy. Mid-Michigan College Baseball is Justin Esch there for the Cobras. And then at 7 and 8, the Eagles and Magic declined their selections. So there you have it, the 2024 draft class. Quite the class, Jack.
Quite the class. Always some surprises in there, man. I think we should. We'll have Patrick on a little bit later, so we can kind of get into that pick with him, obviously. But the trade at number 2.
What are your thoughts?
A few thoughts. I guess I'll say first for the Gators, I like the trade. I think that they improved their team overall. Not only in this year, but going forward. I think it was a good move. Not saying that Jorgie has hit his peak, but I think they probably got the highest value they'll ever get for him.
No, I agree.
So I think that was a good move. They got a little bit younger. Adams he's solid. I've played against him and seen him at a few tournaments that I've been able to go to, and that team, he's kind of the leader on that Flamingos team. So I think that was a very good pick. Also like the pick or like the trade for the Mallards.
Thank you.
I think
the fans finally support me in the draft.
I think they did too. I saw some love for Tom. I think, as you alluded to on the last pod, a win now move certainly gives you guys a better chance to win now. I think also a big winner, I suppose, in this draft, or someone who at least is going to get a lot more responsibility, is Preston Colm. I think he now kind of like steps in as that number 2 guy for you guys. And then there's the Cobras.
This ought to be good.
So we had talked leading up to this draft that like Drew had to just had to just nail this pick. And in true Drew fashion, I actually don't dislike the addition of Caden. Like I like that part of the trade. I think that he'll fit in on the Cobras, and I think that that's a good addition to their bullpen, having, parted ways with Sawyer. I think they needed to, get a guy who can come in there and throw some strikes. But Drew just went with about as wild card of a pick as you could go with. I mean, Kyle kind of alluded to it in the video. We've seen players with a baseball background come in and be phenomenal. And then we've also seen baseball players be have some of the worst averages in the league. So it is really like a high risk, high reward pick, which I didn't, in hindsight, it makes sense that Drew would make a pick like that. High risk, high reward. Why are we surprised? Why are we surprised? I don't know. I guess in my mind, trying to put myself in Drew's shoes, I thought I would have tried to go with like a more of a sure pick. Not saying that Justin is, not going to pan out. I have no idea. We might look back on this and be like, Drew's the smartest guy ever in a year. That's
the great thing about wiffle ball.
Who knows? But sitting here right now, I guess my instant reaction, it was, I guess, not shocking because we know Drew, but I guess it was on par with him. It just, I didn't think that wouldn't have been the direction I think I would have gone.
Yeah, that's fair to say. And I think you said it best. The big shock here is us and the fan base. And of course, I kind of knew it was happening, but I didn't want to spoil it. But it was Drew. You've made some wild moves. You got Zerlag. You sent B and Pack, and it's like, you better nail this number 2 pick.
Right.
So for him to dump it was shocking.
Right.
We're going to have Caden to talk about the trade on the show in just a moment here. Let me talk about how it actually happened for all of you that are wondering, because everyone's like, the Mallards fleeced them, whatever. I'll tell you right now, this trade all happened because Drew Davis sent me a text and said, I want Caden. And you guys knew I wanted Pishka. I wanted to add a bat. I couldn't get Pishka. Me and Jimmy couldn't agree on a deal. So when he said I wanted Caden, I saw an opportunity here to probably get a bat.
Yep.
And he's like, I want Caden. There wasn't a bat on the Cobras that I was crazy about, but he's like, I'm willing to give up my number 2 pick with the right deal here. I was like, holy cow. So I offered him Caden, the number 6 pick. He was cool with it. He wanted Justin. He already told Kyle that. He wanted Caden. Apparently, he's always wanted to play with Caden. I didn't know that, but it seems like a win-win there. Again, he's built the ultimate vibe tribe, it seems. So if you guys watched that, when me and Jack were talking about mock trades, I said something very similar to this with this exact trade on my mind, this real trade, not a mock trade, saying, okay, now I have a number 2 pick from Drew. What can I do with this? I want to guarantee myself a win-now guy.
Yeah.
So then I took that pick and called up, I guess, Cheatham now. I texted all the guys. I texted Chadwick, Cheatham, and Jorgie and said, hey, I heard you guys were willing to move Jorgensen just to do a chemistry change because it hasn't been working. I'll give you the number 2 pick. And they're like, how'd you get the number 2 pick? And I was like, don't ask. I got it. So that's how it all happened. It was kind of me and Drew making a deal and then me going to the Cobras and making it a 3-team deal where I take something from the Gators, the Cobras take something from me, and the Gators take something from the Cobras. So that's how it all kind of made this beautiful triangle work. And Kyle being the commissioner, he agreed that from the outside looking in, there was the biggest downside for the Cobras probably, giving up that number 2 pick. But he was all for it, given it's a cool trade for Jorgie to be on a new team.
Yeah.
Switch up the Gators vibe even more to get them refreshed. And it's just, that's a big shocker to drop early in the draft video, right? So he was all for it. And that's sort of what got us here. So don't come after me saying you fleeced Drew. Drew was just like right away, like, I want Caden, number 2 pick is up for grabs. Like, it didn't take that much negotiating for me, to be honest. So this is on Captain Davis, guys.
One thing I want to give Drew some props for is just like being confident in his plan. He seems like he has a plan.
It's like Billy Bean. He's all in right now.
We don't really, it's yet to unveil itself what that plan is going to look like.
Does he have a plan?
Are we sure? It seems like he has a plan. It's kind of like when, it's kind of like with the Lions. I mean, they made some interesting like draft picks and like trades and free agency signings, and everyone kind of was like, I don't know, but they had a plan and they stuck to the plan and like it got us to, where it's gotten us so far. So I do want to give Drew some props in that department for just, it seems like he has a plan, and it seems like he's going out and getting his guys to execute that plan.
Yeah, I'll give some credit to Drew, too, because he could have kind of gone through the motions here and took Kyle's recommendation for who to draft at number 2, but instead he did his own homework. He met this Justin kid at a tournament, liked what he saw, has kept in contact with him over the years. So this is Drew's decision.
Right.
This is what he wanted. He wanted Caden. He wanted Justin. And here we are, Drew. It's all right in front of you now. And the pieces that you wanted are in place. You got Zerlag. You dumped B in. You picked up Justin. You got Caden. Like, you've built this new look Cobras team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it works out or not, I guess we'll see.
Yep.
But definitely wanted to have... Time will tell. Time will tell. But, of course, it's never as good to talk about it without the actual party involved in the room. So now we'd like to welcome on Caden Irwin to the show. Caden, you were definitely at the forefront of everyone's minds and in the comment sections this week after the trade. Your sudden departure from my Mallards, which we're going to miss you very much, of course. We'll get into our favorite memories. But overall, just what are your thoughts on the fan feedback that you've seen, if you've read the comments even?
Yeah, I've read a few.
A few? Does that mean all of them?
I kind of stopped myself after a little bit. I was like, I probably should stop.
Okay.
There's some good, like the Mallards fans were very like supportive and like saying goodbye and all that stuff and thanks for all the memories or whatever. And some of the Cobras fans weren't as exactly thrilled. Not really necessarily mad at me, more Drew, of course. So of course Drew's back in the center of it all. But I mean, other than that, it's been pretty good. I've had some people like reach out through DMs that are like, hey, we're actually excited for you to be on the Cobras. We just wish we would have had the number 2 pick instead.
Okay. So Cobra Nation's showing support. That's good.
Yeah, a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit.
So how did you, when this trade first came about, how did you feel about it initially? And how does that compare to how you might feel now?
I mean, it was like bittersweet because I mean, I talked to Tom a little bit about it, and I mean, I was sad to leave the Mallards, but you know, it's a new opportunity, and I'll do what I can with what Drew and I figure out to do with the team or whatever, and I'm pretty pumped about what could come. I mean, I think I like being a back against the wall kind of person. Like, no one's everybody's like coming at us, and it's like, all right, well, we'll just have to wait to see when wiffle ball's played. You know, you can't really talk about like what's going to happen until it actually does. So I'm all right with playing with a little underdog mentality. Been there before, so why not again?
Nothing new for you at all. What actually is your relationship with Drew? Because like I said, he was very adamant to me that he's been wanting to play with you. So do you and him have like a friendship or a history from wiffle ball or outside of that? What's that relationship like?
We play golf every once in a while, and he always calls me and we talk. He's always got these crazy ideas that he likes to run by me. You know how Drew is. He
gotta love him.
He came down a couple times to my school, and he was throwing blitz balls to me. That was when he was practicing for John Boy Media. He was doing some stuff. We did a golf little video too, like a night golf thing. It was really fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, we've been friendly at first in the league. He's like, when you get to know Drew, he's like really fun to be around. He's not as like crazy as he seems all the time. But he's got a lot of energy. And ever since like, I think it was the All-Star game or like the home run derby or something, my first year, then we started talking more, like just as friends. And Zerlag, him and I have gone golfing before. So it's kind of like the trio that I think he's kind of created.
The Vibe Tribe.
The Vibe Tribe.
That's awesome.
I think Caden's just nice enough to listen to Drew's crazy ideas, and that's why Drew probably likes him.
Jack, you and I have talked about how Drew's not. Drew's much different about what you see on camera. You know?
Of course. No, just jokes. Yeah. Caden, you mentioned kind of. I think you were talking, as talking about the Cobras as a whole, sort of feeling like you guys might have your backs against the wall just with some of like the commentary from the fans and the moves that Drew's made this offseason. But I guess, would you feel like, seeing some of that reaction after your addition to the Cobras, do you feel like you are kind of undervalued in this league?
I mean, I definitely haven't played as well as I would have hoped to or expected myself to when I first came into it. I mean, last year I missed 2 series or something like that. I can't remember. But the ones that I was there, I mean, outside of our rough playoff experience, we won't talk about that too much.
Please,
I
no.
didn't play like that bad. I mean, I had some good pitching games. I hit the ball somewhat decent, depending on it. I was like streaky last year. So I've kind of started to figure it out a little bit. I feel like pitching definitely came a long way. As for last year, I definitely felt more confident on the mound and what I had, and I've gained more as I've kind of figured it out a little bit. So, I mean, I feel like I'm undervalued a little bit in terms of like how they're expressing how upset they are. But I'm always happy to prove people wrong. But I'm not planning on getting worse. I've definitely
That's good.
improved a little bit each year, so like just gotta trust it a little bit.
I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, from a manager's perspective, again, it's a very, at least at the Mallards, like we're a very collective group, and maybe I should be more of like a stern leader and decision maker at times. But from what I saw from Caden, a couple of things. Number one is vibe wise, immaculate. Nobody'd rather have in the
checks
clubhouse.
The vibe box.
Yeah, nobody'd rather have in the clubhouse than a guy like Caden Irwin for sure. So supportive and nice and fun to be around. Likes to laugh and have a good time, tell jokes, that kind of thing. So Cobra's got a good one in that. From a playing perspective, pitching wise, definitely a strike thrower and a guy you can count on like in a high pressure situation, because Caden's played in some very competitive games in like national tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
He's a competitive fast pitch player, so he's got that experience too, that big game environment. One thing I think that played, a couple of things actually that played against him and how I built the Mallards from pitching perspective is his arsenal is very similar to Robles. And oftentimes he'd get thrown in after Jordan.
Right.
So people wouldn't see that harsh of a change going from Jordan to Caden's arsenal. Versus like on your team, for example, RJ and Bonham, it's like night and day different.
Right.
It's such a drastic adjustment to have to make as a hitter,
Mm-hmm.
which makes Bonham's talented, but it makes Bonham look even better than he is. Whereas Caden, I don't think him and Jordan had that good contrast. You know what I
they
mean?
get warmed up to Jordan and then they just start peppering Caden.
Yeah, because it's very similar arsenals.
Right.
It's like once you're adjusted to Jordan, you kind of know what's coming now from the Mallards the rest of the day.
Makes sense.
So I don't think that helped Caden out a lot. Number two, and like Caden said, he did miss a couple series, unfortunately, due to his own stuff going on in his personal life or work life, whatever it may be. But even when he was here over the years, I never was able to, or never chose to, I guess, like fully commit to Caden, like being in the lineup every single game in a specific spot. You were pretty consistent, probably 85% or so starting, but I would mix in Davenport, mixed in Preston, mixed in Matt. So when you're getting a limited amount of reps, along with missing some couple series here and there, it is difficult to really get better and better and better when the season's already short as it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I think people are really bashing and don't even view Caden as like a hitter anymore. But I'll tell you right now, when we played in the fast pitch tournament, Wiffs, like the most competitive wiffle ball tournament in the world, he was the best hitter in our lineup that weekend. Caden hit a couple bombs off some great pitchers. So the potential's there.
Yeah.
And I never really fully invested in it. Maybe he wasn't comfortable, hitting in the back of the lineup, whatever it was, limited ABs, a lot of different things. So unlike Jorgensen, who I paid a premium for, given he was at his peak, sort of, since his rookie campaign, I did sort of get rid of Caden at a lower moment in his career where the only place he has to go is up.
Yeah.
So you're getting a pretty good value guy for the Cobras, but you did sacrifice a lot. And that's going to be the what's the word for this trade? It's the knack on this trade for the Cobra Nation.
I mean, I do think in a way, though, it is kind of like you could make the argument for Drew. Obviously, time will tell, but it's sort of like he went with one that was like high risk, high reward. And then I feel like with Caden, Caden, you might feel differently, but it's a little bit lower risk because, like you said, it's like Caden's been consistent and he's improved every year. And like right now, it seems like it's, he'd only go up from here with more experience. I mean, even as you said, you weren't fully committed to putting him in the lineups and getting him all those reps. And he still has shown improvement every single year. Yeah. So for someone, if Drew is going to go like all in on Caden, I mean, the theory seems to make sense there, that kind of low risk, high reward there. Yeah.
How was that assessment, Caden? Was that fair?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and let's not just ignore the fact I've had struggles too. Like it's been
No,
There's
but
been
I
some
have too.
interesting
You know what I
times,
mean?
too.
We all have.
I have too. And it has been a couple of years that I've been better. But even when I was really struggling, I've even taken myself out at times or tried to take myself out to give guys like Caden more reps. So
Right.
I tried to not like play favoritism over myself as an athlete. But Caden, I actually have a fan question from you. I went to my Instagram DMs, people that wanted to ask some questions on the pod. Got a fan and a listener here named John, and he says, Caden, how much importance do you think his new team's increased level of swag from the former team, the Mallards, will impact your personal success? That hurts me, but what do you think about that?
Ooh, wow, that's a big question.
It's
A
the
lot of
vibe tribe,
swag on
baby.
it. I mean, I don't know that I'm like the most swaggy player, but maybe going to a swagger team, I'll get a little bit more cred in that way. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty low key. Like the Mallards definitely like the vibe for us was fit all of us. So it's kind of like going to a whole different style. Not that it's a bad thing, but I think maybe maybe I'll come a little more dripped out. I don't know. Who knows?
Let me take that question one step further and ask you too, in terms of the actual dugout, the environment, the culture. Are you pretty excited to step into this Cobras clubhouse for opening day?
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of energy. I'm always good for a good laugh too, so I'm sure we'll do some interesting things as the year goes on. So it'll be funny to, you know, I'm I've never played, I don't think even against Drew in MLW before. So like I've never been to a series where he's playing. So it'll be interesting to see how he is like actually at the field. Because it's a little bit different. Everybody acts a little bit different too when the games are going on at times. So it'll be interesting to see. And I've never played any of these guys, so except for Zerle, and he's
Yeah.
new to the team too.
Definitely
so
worth the price of admission.
It's gonna be.
that's
What's
what I heard.
real quick, Caden? I'm curious. Okay, favorite Mallard memory, or give me a top three. What do you think over the years?
Ooh,
We've been
okay.
together for how many seasons now? Three?
Three, I
22,
know, it's
23?
crazy.
Or was it 21, 22, 23?
Definitely the home run in game one. We'll just stop talking after game one. This past year postseason, when you hit the walk-off home, that was crazy. That was so much fun. I don't know that I've ever been like more pumped about anything. Outside of the year before when we played Jimmy and the Diamondbacks, when we hit, I don't know. I think you and I went back to back.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I've ever been more hyped about anything than that moment, Caden. Watch
That
that
was
clip
sweet.
back, or Pat roll it back. I almost tripped over my own feet in that celebration, Caden. I like charged and like did like a jumping fist bump and almost fell on
I
the
was ready
field
to watch you
when you
like
homered.
if you weren't such a great athlete, Tom, you would have ended up tackling Jimmy, which I mean might have helped us the next
Well,
time, fall down and maybe hurt him a little bit. I'm
yeah,
just
I
kidding,
realized
but
I took it a step too far because I was trying to just like do a jumping fist bump, but because I lost my balance, I like ended up on the mound almost and nearly went into Jimmy, and I was like, "Whoa, that was not supposed to happen." It almost looked a bit disrespectful, but that was not the intention at all.
That's hilarious.
All right, those are
That's
two
tough.
good memories. I got to say, the Oklahoma road trip was all time.
I was gonna put that one in there too. That was gonna be my third. That one was a blast. Oh my gosh.
that
Can't
was
beat a good road trip.
that was no, yeah, seriously. I've been to Oklahoma twice for wiffle ball series, MLW series that is. Once more for the Mark Rober shoot. Both those trips, man, just for different reasons too, were all timers. All timers. I had a great time with you that weekend. Kid.
Lappy golf, man. That was unbelievable.
I also had a great time with you. Like our first ever time hanging out. Really, when we
Illinois.
drove out together to Illinois. Yeah, that was a good time.
That was a good one too.
That's my honorable mention.
Nice.
Sure.
That's a
Good
good top
memories.
three.
Thanks for the memories.
Thanks for the memories, Caden. I'm gonna miss you. I really will. You were a staple in our clubhouse, a big part of our success these last couple of years. It was tough to let you go. It was. When I texted Matt, I was like, "Yo, I can get Jorgie." He's like, "Whoa, are you serious?" I was like, "But I gotta let go with Caden." I think he's like, "Dude, I don't know." And I was like, "I know it's tough, but
Yeah.
this does give you an opportunity to really
Yeah.
like make a splash, which I like for you, and you seemed like you were on board for it. So
Yeah, I look good in red. Little Tiger Sunday red. So nothing
I
wrong
like
with
that Instagram story you had today, a little Sunday red action.
Little Masters plug there.
Yeah,
So I will say, with the Wildcats adding 2 new picks, Predators seem like they might finally have, their number 2 arm that, they can go to in the playoffs. Magic coming back with the same team last year to try to repeat. If the Cobras are going to break through this year, Caden, what's going to be the main factor to allow them to do that?
I mean, Brendan and I think we have Barron, that is. I think that us pitching will be really solid. Plus, I think there's some other guys that are working on pitching too, from what I hear. So we'll have like a lot of different arms that'll be interesting to see how we all mesh. But I think at the plate will be big. I mean, depending on who we have in the lineup, like how that ends up working, it might be like a kind of figure it out for a little bit and see like, who's going to be our solidified guys all the time or whatever. I think the bats will be huge, just being able to, put runs on the board, especially with the great pitching that is on the AL with Cratch, and you've got Bonham, RJ. I mean, who else am I meant? I mean, you got Kyle, and then I know Jackson's been putting in a lot of work too. So like it'll be interesting to see. I think our arms will be, able to keep up for the most part. And I mean, I know that we've been improving as it's in the off season. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the bats will be the biggest part for us, putting the ball in play, making people work, pitch counts up, old school ball stuff.
I like it. It's going to be a gritty team.
I'm excited for this all-star game. I think the AL.
You think so?
It's going to wipe the floor this year.
Wow.
That's my bold prediction.
Bold take from Jack out of the left chair today, folks.
Yep.
Bold take coming from the left side of the room in here.
Bold move.
We're stacked. We're stacked.
You're actually the right side of the room for the viewers. I should call it the right side, but my left.
It's okay.
Well, Caden, thank you for your time today. I want to say thank you, too, for all your time and dedication to the Mallards. Genuinely mean that. It's been, like I said, a lot of great memories, man, and I hope we continue to make them together, even if it's as opponents.
Definitely.
But, all right, Caden, well, have a good rest of your night. Good luck with the students these last few weeks here, the school year, last few months, I should say. How they been this year overall? Good?
They've been pretty good. State testings this week, though, so they're a little crazy. That's fine. We're getting through it. We're pushing through it.
All right, good. All right, Caden, we will talk to you later.
All right, sounds good. See you, Tom.
See ya. Okay, let's now jump to our interview with the number 1 overall draft pick, Patrick Baalman. All right, and just like that, we are now joined by your number 1 overall pick of the 2024 draft class, the, 5th number 1 pick in MLW history. We got Jorgensen, we got Robles. No, he was in the second one, though. Jorgensen, Baranowski, Robles, who's Grant, and now Patrick. Very elite company you are joining there, Mr. Baalman. But thank you so much for joining us on Pipe It Up today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. I've been a long-time listener. Been listening since day one, so it's pretty surreal to be on the show, though.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. We love to hear that. What of the what's the past weekend been like for you, Patrick? Obviously, this is pretty cool. It sounds like you've been a fan for a while, so just tell us how you're feeling.
No, honestly, it just honestly feels surreal. I've seen the video, seen the post, and it just doesn't seem like it actually happened. And it was pretty cool because my family threw a little draft party for me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll have to send you guys a video. It's pretty awesome. And then I actually hosted a local wiffle ball tournament at the local school on Saturday, and kids were coming up to me asking, "Oh, are you in MLW? I saw the videos." So it's been pretty crazy. Everyone's been DMing me, congratulating me. So it's really cool. Again, it's just unreal.
That's sweet. I think
that's got to be a first.
We'll give you credit for being
party?
the first ever MLW draft party.
Yeah.
Well, did you tell the family and friends, who knew you were going to get picked there?
So I told a couple of my close friends, my cousins, my cousin league mate, Dominic Satrowski, I told him. But I didn't really tell people what team or anything I was going to be on.
Okay, cool.
My mom knew, and they knew I was going to be in the league. So they're like, we should throw a draft party to celebrate.
So cool.
Some of them didn't know what team I was going to. Some of them didn't know I was going number 1 overall. So it was pretty cool.
Yes. Was there a big moment when your name was called first?
Oh yeah, dude. They all freaked out. It was pretty funny. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's really sweet. If you have the footage, we would love to see that. We'll put it on our Instagram for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
I just heard Kyle yell from upstairs. He's gonna post it tomorrow, so maybe we'll get it on the main channel before we get credit for it. Still swipe it from us. Unfortunately, we get the leftovers at times. It's all right.
I love that, dude. That's hilarious.
$40
million signing bonus.
Mom, I'm rich. Mom, you can retire.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I hope they weren't under that impression.
Yeah. Hopefully not. All right, so Patrick, we're gonna go a little rapid fire questions so our fans can get to know you a little bit better. So in no particular order, how long have you been playing wiffle ball?
I've been playing wiffle ball. I've been playing all my life, but I really got serious about it probably 2017 when I started watching the MLW channel. So we started a league back in Missouri. And after that, like literally every day playing wiffle ball down here. Now that I'm learning like scuffed, it's been every day, all day. Because I'm in Florida, so it's super nice weather all the time. So I've been just practicing. So I've been playing wiffle ball for all day, every day for like the past like 4 years probably.
Sweet.
So you've been watching since 2017. Have you your favorite team obviously is now the Wildcats. What was it before that?
I've said multiple teams. I just love the league, so I'll just like kind of root for matchups. I didn't really necessarily have a favorite. The Mallards were at one point, the Gators were at one point. I wasn't really a fan of like one team, I feel like. But now obviously go Cats, baby. But back then it was I just loved watching the videos. I didn't care who was playing.
Yeah, that was a trick question. You failed. You should have said Magic. No, I'm just kidding. All right, next question. What is it about wiffle ball that you like most?
Oh man, I don't know. I played baseball all my life, and I think just you didn't need that many people to play. So back in Missouri, I just play with all my friends, and it was so accessible. You know, you just go outside and play it. And I just love going to the tournaments, meeting people who love the game as well. So I don't really know if there's one specific thing. I just love how accessible it is, I guess, and I don't know. I love the game.
It's a good answer.
Love the game. Can't hate that answer.
No, not at all.
Other than wiffle ball, what are some other things you like to do for fun?
I've done a lot of sports. I'm a big fan of just like niche sports. Obviously, wiffle ball being one of them. I love pickleball, playing pickleball out here.
Nice.
I actually did amateur boxing for a year. Did baseball, did college basketball. So really, I didn't have much free time. It was more just like what sport I was doing at the time. Yeah, hanging out with friends, playing sports, always a good time.
Big sports guy.
Big sports guy.
Big
Love
sports
sports.
guy.
All right. Describe yourself using 3 adjectives.
Man.
It's tough.
I don't know. Athletic, I feel like a little bit.
Good answer.
Fair. Good answer for the number 1 pick.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. Fun. I mean, I love having a good time. Playing sports is always fun. I don't know if you consider tall being one, but I'm tall.
That's an adjective.
That's an adjective.
So you can throw that in there.
That's 3.
That's 3 great ones.
That's pretty much what you want from your number 1 overall pick: athletic, fun, and tall.
Who wouldn't want to hang out with an athletic, fun, tall guy?
I'm me, who's an athletic, fun, short guy, because
Right.
I look extra short.
Precisely.
Yeah.
All right, moving away from wiffle ball, what are your favorite foods? I guess let's go 3 favorite foods.
Oh man.
We're really bringing out the tough ones today.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, man.
Welcome to the league.
Should have wore a shirt and tie for this. This is a real serious interview here.
Man, I was thinking ahead of time, like, oh, what questions will be involved. I didn't think adjectives and food were going to be involved.
Sorry, man.
Keep you guessing.
No, it's all good. A big taco guy. Love tacos. Taco Bell. I mean, I don't know if you really consider that tacos, but it's always good.
It's taco.
It's in the name.
Yeah. Fried pickles. I'm a big fried pickle guy. Love them. I'd say third. Give me chicken wings. I think if you just get good chicken wings.
Give me chicken wings. I like
It's
that.
a solid 3 right there.
That is a
honestly.
solid 3.
It wasn't too like basic, you know.
Yep.
They're all kind of Taco Bell. I was kind of like, okay, rough start a little bit, but then you got me with fried pickles and wings. I didn't see those 2 coming.
I like it. Okay. Where are you actually from?
Yeah, so I'm actually from St. Louis. I grew up there, lived there my entire life up until college, and now I'm here in Ave Maria, Florida. I go to the university here in town. I've been in Florida for 4 years. Love it down here. Still deciding whether I'm going to go back to Missouri or Florida, but for the summers, I always go back to Missouri for wiffle ball. But yeah, originally from St. Louis, then moved down here to Florida for college.
Okay, cool.
Very good. How many siblings do you have?
Oh man, I actually have 12 siblings.
That's why I put that on the sheet.
Wow.
I figured Tom threw that one in there.
I threw that one in there.
Before.
I knew we had a good answer.
I mean, what is that like?
It's a future wiffle ball empire, man. They're coming.
I mean, that's like a small army.
Yeah, where do you fall in the mix there of the 12?
Yeah, so I'm the oldest boy. I'm number 4, and there's 7 boys, 6 girls.
Holy cow! Can I interview your parents on the next week's episode? I just want to talk to them.
Yeah, I'll bring them on.
I'd be like forgetting my kids' names. I think half the time.
Jeez, man, 12 is a lot.
What is it? Is it chaotic? Are you used
What's
to it?
The
What's
range?
It actually like?
What's the range of age?
Yeah, so the range
so many
is I
questions.
think 28 to 8. That could be. I could be told
So
wrong. I lost track after a while. You lose track of them, but yeah, it's. I would say it's chaotic from an outsider point of view. But I mean, when you're like living there your whole life, it's you kind of just get used to it. Like it honestly feels weirder when I'm home alone than if I don't have
I bet
10 kids in the house.
Holy
I mean,
moly.
you guys could literally. It's a football team.
Yeah.
One for a coach. You could even have a coach.
That'd be nice. Like, yeah, I had 2 sisters. Imagine just being like, oh, who wants to play some wiffle ball? We'll play 5-on-5. Just the siblings. Basketball, 5-on-5. The siblings.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
I don't know. How do you balance and like manage all those relationships? Like, how often, and there's not a wrong answer to this. I won't judge you at all because I can't imagine that. Like, I have 2 sisters who I don't talk to enough, but how do you like maintain contact with 11 people or 12 people that are your siblings? So there's 13. Yeah. There's 13, 12 not including you.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
13.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Yes, well, originally all of them lived in Missouri, and then when I moved down to college, me and my 2 sisters that went to the university had a rental house. So I didn't like see my family. But then 2 years ago, they all moved down. So now we're all back in Florida. So they're all back down here. So I still see them every day. It's definitely hard to like spend time uniquely with one another, but it's now the older or the younger boys. The last 5 are all boys, and they all play wiffle ball all the time with me. They always want to play, so it's a little easier now because we just bond playing wiffle ball or playing football or whatnot. So it's definitely crazy though.
So once we hit 1 million subs and decide to expand, we'll just take the 5 youngest Baalmans and that's a team.
I'm down with that idea.
That's a team.
I'm fully supportive of that.
Yeah.
No matter how old or young they are at the time. Just commit to that right now. Let's get that in writing.
Let's hopefully Kyle listen to this podcast.
He should, I hope.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Well, fans, now you know this year's number 1 overall pick, Patrick Baalman, a little bit better. I know I do.
Yeah.
Chicken wing guy. I'll remember that. What's your go-to? Are you a buffalo wing guy? What's the sauce?
Oh man, I'm a wuss when it comes to spicy food, so I'm always going mild, or I'll just go no sauce and just dip it in like the most mild of sauces. But extra crispy though. Always gotta be extra crispy.
That's the right answer.
Do you go ranch on the side or blue cheese or nothing?
Oh, ranch, blue cheese is nasty. I'm sorry.
Tommy's a blue cheese guy.
No,
Seriously?
God, no, Jack. Don't put that on me. Are you kidding me? Ranch. Always been ranch. It's never been blue cheese.
I'm just kidding.
I've said I'm not a picky eater. The one food I don't like is blue cheese. That's pretty much it. All right. Thanks for sharing your answers with us, Patrick. Sorry for the intense interview, but that was pretty fun.
You passed. Flying colors.
You passed. I agree. That was a passing score. I wouldn't say it was an A, but at worst it was a B.
Yeah, B+.
Okay. Let's look at wiffle ball now. The subject at hand. How excited are you to be a part of this new look and reinvigorated Cat squad alongside another draft pick, Ty Frensnick?
Oh man, I'm super excited. There was when I was going through the process, I was really hoping for 2 different teams, and the Wildcats were one of them. And I just feel like it's probably the best fit. I've been working on my pitching all the time, trying to help add some depth to the pitching staff there, and just the offense is so good. I mean, it helps when you got 3 all-stars already on your team when you get drafted. And I've seen Ty Frensnick pitching as well and hitting, and he's a really good talent as well. So I really think that we're going to have a great year.
Sweet.
So you obviously have been playing wiffle ball for a while. I imagine not with the same exact rules that we play in MLW. How do you feel about, just your ability to adapt to the MLW rules?
Yeah, so when I went to my first MLW tournament last fall at the Wiffle in the Mitten, I didn't even know how to throw a scuff ball. You can ask my cousin. We were outside practicing every day the week before, and I couldn't throw a slider, and I was getting so mad at myself because I knew how to throw all the different pitches with the unscuff, but then the scuff was totally different. So I was throwing like 200 pitches a day for a week straight, and luckily I got like 2 pitches down. And I just threw that the entire tournament. Same with New York. I had like 2 pitches, and if the balls were bad, it was a rough day. But yeah, when I came down here, I brought like 24 scuffed pavement scuffed balls, and I've been throwing like bullpen sessions out the wazoo. I've been throwing so much. So I'm really comfortable. I can throw about every pitch from every angle now. So just practicing every day, trying to get better and lead the Cats to a championship.
Mm-hmm. So how many tournaments have you played in now? MLW tournaments, that is.
MLW tournament, I played in Wiffle in the Mitten last year. I played in the Long Island Wiffs tournament last year. Got absolutely wrecked by Dallas Allens and Jordan Robles' team in the semifinals. Mm-hmm. And then I am going actually to the Peoria Midwest contest this weekend. So
sweet. Okay, so it'll be 3. So you kind of already answered my question, but who have you played so far from the MLW rosters, and does anybody intimidate you a little bit moving into your rookie year?
Yeah, so again, I played Dallas and Robles, and that was one of the games where I had nothing going, and those are like some of the best hitters I've ever faced, and they were teeing off against me. So that was a little intimidating, and then Robles chucking like 90 miles an hour,
which unfortunately he can't do in MLW.
Right.
yeah, so that's nice.
Fortunate for you.
Yeah, I played against the Baranowski brothers. I played against them in the Wiffle in the Mitten tournament in the quarterfinals, I think. And I think that's it. I think my brothers have played I've played Jonah and Cheatham and stuff, but I've only played
brother 2, 3, and 4. Or what was the team?
Oh man,
I'm just kidding. He's like, I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know. But yeah, it was always fun. But yeah, I've only played like two MLW teams, I feel like.
Okay, cool.
So I think with your height, people are probably already making the early comparisons to RJ Walgate. Do you think, but you know, we obviously haven't seen RJ get much of a chance. I haven't really given him much of a chance at the
Shame
plate.
on you.
At the plate. But I guess, do you think that your height will kind of impact, like, how do you think your height will impact you overall, like both at the plate and on the mound?
Well, at the mound, it's definitely a big factor because when you're so tall, you could basically just lob it, just drop it at home because you got that wingspan. But at the plate, I feel like it helps. A lot of people say it's a lot tougher because your arms are so long, it's hard to get around. But I feel like because of the bat, it's kind of smaller. It helps me get the outside pitches so I can stand back a little bit. So I definitely think being tall is definitely helpful on both sides. And I wanted to mention, I don't know if I could throw this in now, but I was talking when I was editing the RJ Walgate podcast. He's mentioning that he doesn't want anyone to steal his spotlight. And immediately when I got drafted, RJ DM'd me and said, "You better not steal my tall person spotlight." So a little intimidating, but I told him that at one of these MLW tournaments, we have to have an MLW tall team. I don't know if there's another person that can join us, but me, RJ, and someone else, we got to make it happen.
Coach, it's me.
You could be the ironic manager.
God, I can't hang out with you.
AJ's pretty tall.
Yeah.
Gus is pretty tall.
Gus is tall. Drew is tallish.
Kinda.
Caden's tall.
Caden is tall.
Caden's tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it's AJ's probably 6'2", would you say?
Who?
AJ?
Yeah, easily.
And what are you, Patrick, actually? You 6'4", 6'5"?
6'5", yeah.
6'5". So that's tall. I wish. Gosh, I wish. Do you think your arsenal is similar at all to RJ from what you've seen? It sounds like you're a pretty avid fan. You've seen a lot of the videos and a lot of the content, so I'm sure you kind of know what RJ throws. Do you think you're similar at all, given height's similar, or do you think you're much different style on the mound?
I would say like our main stuff is pretty similar, especially early on. That's why I tried to diversify. I've been learning, trying to throw different pitches from different angles, jumping at different angles and throwing different pitches. Okay. And I'm sure RJ's doing the same thing. But yeah, I feel like we have actually a lot of similarities, and people have told me that I throw like exactly like him, especially my screwball. So there is definitely some similarities there. So I'm just trying to diversify it and get as many pitches in the arsenal as possible to keep hitters guessing at all times.
Also, before I forget, I don't want to brush past this because you just made a comment about it and people might have caught it and been like, wait, what did he just say? last week, guys, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I mentioned how the podcast is going to have a new editor, but I didn't want to tell you until a week from now. And I said it'll make sense when I do tell you.
Yeah.
Well, the reason it'll make sense now, Jack, is because Patrick is the new editor. So,
which I also just found
Jack
out
didn't know
like
that
before
either.
we started recording this podcast,
Yes.
which is very funny. I listened to a different podcast, and the co-host of that podcast always like, you know, comedically will reference the
Now we can do
editor
that,
and be like, in that podcast, the editor's name's Lenny, or at least they call him Lenny.
Yeah.
And so they'll be like, Lenny, you know,
Yeah.
cue the whatever music. So I'm gonna start working that in now, Patrick. I'm very excited for
PB.
that. Yeah, Pat.
I like PB.
Throw it in there.
Peanut butter.
PB.
PB.
I like it.
How was your first edit last week by yourself?
It was pretty good. There's always stuff to critique on, and I'm writing stuff down every time. And I will say I was a little nervous because I was actually I wasn't home when the upload time was, so I was like kind of
I was
sweating.
watching it,
Like I was kind of sweating, like trying to go off on my own and see if it was uploading, everything was okay. But definitely a tough night at sleep. Trying to sleep, knowing I didn't want to have anything mess up like big time, especially my first one.
Mhm.
But no, I just got an energy drink right when I got the video sent to me. I got to work and gonna keep on improving stuff. And if you are watching and you notice anything different, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna try to fix it or make things better. So
Yeah, I told him to take it easy on you for the first few weeks, but we've come a long way so far already in a couple weeks.
So follow-up question, because I know Tommy has obviously passed the reins over to you.
Oh, boy.
How would you describe Tommy as a teacher or, like a mentor when it comes to editing?
Oh, he's like in Rocky. He's like the coach, man. He's he's the best, man. It's no, he's very patient with me because I've made some goofy mistakes, especially in the beginning. Because I've never edited podcasts before. I've only edited like gameplay videos and stuff. So just like little things that I kept on messing up and kind of feeling dumb about. He's been really good about that, and just a bunch of little things that he's been helping me with. So absolutely great coach. If you need an editing coach out there, recommend Tommy.
Oh man,
Very
that
good.
is generous. That
Very
is so
good.
generous. Really what I'll take the compliment first of all, but I told Patrick I'm not an expert by any means. I learned this last year, and at least podcast editing. And what I told him too is what it comes down to is like if you ever watched a podcast or if you haven't, like just watch a popular one, the big names. You guys at home know what they are. Watch one, like look at what they do and then replicate that. And then when you watch your own podcast back, think to yourself, if I were to watch this, if I was some executive person or just a average consumer, like would I look at this and be like, oh, like what were they doing here? Is it like just it looks professional?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, figure out why it doesn't and then figure out how to make it look professional. It's really as simple as that.
Simple as that.
I mean, the task of making it look professional might be complex, but the mindset is quite simple.
Right.
That's what I try to instill to Patrick. Well, if you ever have any problems, I'm here for you to help you out as much as I can, but it'll get easier and easier every week, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Energy drinks do help if you're on a time crunch for sure. But moving back to Wiffs, I know we've talked a lot about it already, just to reiterate, I guess, but what excites you the most about just this year? Being a rookie, being in the videos after watching for a few years now, many years it sounds like, and grinding this off season. How excited are you to get out there for Slate 1?
Oh, I'm so ready. I'm excited. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of nerves out there in the first one, but just practicing every day, trying to get better, and I really just want to get to the World Series and win it. I know that Nick and Jackson are really trying to get there. Kyle obviously has a ton of World Series championships, but I would love to get another one with those guys. And I don't know. I'm a competitive guy, so I'd love to win. So I'm going to go out there trying to get a sweep on our first series for sure.
Sweet, dude.
Right on. Well, thank you for joining us, PB. Looking forward to dropping your dropping your initials in future edits. Good luck on this edit. Good luck this season. Not that good of luck, obviously, as we play each other, as we battle. But no, all seriousness, appreciate you coming on.
No, absolutely. Thank you, guys. And I'll be looking forward to editing this tonight.
All right. Sweet, Patrick. Thanks again, dude. Okay. Thank you so much, Patrick. Those are some of my favorite interviews of this year, I think, so far, Jack. Two good ones. We got to do more of the getting to know you stuff.
I knew this pod was going to be good because Tommy texted me earlier today, said, today is going to be a banger of an episode.
Well, this is kind of funny. It's not meant to be funny in a bad way, but it is sort of funny, and you'll see why. But banger, because we got 2 guests, 2 people that are in demand right now. Caden getting traded, number 1 overall pick. It's kind of a 1-2 punch right there, and I'm like, yeah, two guests is always a bit of a doozy to edit, but I'm like, it's not my pod to edit anymore. But hey, Pat, you're up for the challenge. Let's go, man. It's gonna test you a little bit. PB. I'm sure you'll be frustrated.
It's your time to shine.
Hear me shaking your head right now, but it'll be worth it. It'll make you better. And this pod's going to the moon, boys.
To the moon.
Some big stuff in store this year.
Hop on
now. Real quick, everyone's favorite whiff of the week. Jack, do you have a whiff for us? Keep it short and sweet.
I have a short and sweet whiff.
Beautiful.
This weekend I was reviving one of my old guitars.
Okay.
And the guitar string, so I restrung this guitar like, a long time ago. Was too lazy to ever cut the excess string.
Yeah.
So I look like, sort of the street player with just the gangly guitar.
Yep.
So I'm going to revive this guitar now, and I'm going to snip the strings, and I just completely cut one of the actual strings on the guitar, and so now I just have to restring it again.
Yep. But now you have to just do one string again, or do the whole thing again?
You kind of just got to do the whole thing again. I mean, you could get one, but it's like I don't even know what like type of set like strings I got before. Okay. Like there's a lot of different like gauges, and you can there's hundreds of different kinds of like strings that you can buy
across the board.
Yeah, and it's never a bad thing to like replace your strings. Like for those of you that play guitar, well, they were years ago probably. Okay. I haven't played that specific guitar very much, but for
What's
those
your
of
collection? How many you got?
I have 3.
That's sweet, dude.
For those of you who play guitar, probably know that when you've been playing like the same strings for a long time and you replace them, it makes the guitar sound like not brand new, but it does make it sound That's like cool. It's an improved sound for sure. I
haven't been a very disciplined guitar player. I did buy one during COVID, not a super expensive one, a couple $100, but I was recommended to purchase like strings for it at the time. So I have a set of strings. I've never changed the original ones yet. I wouldn't say it sounds amazing, but it sounds good enough for me to learn songs on and stuff like that. So
100%.
I haven't had the need to change yet. But that's cool. You have a little collection going. I didn't know that. I've seen some videos of you play. You can play a little bit.
I started with the electric guitar.
I just have an acoustic.
And then I got an acoustic electric guitar.
Oh, those are sweet.
That was the one I was reviving. So the one that I play most often now is like a parlor guitar. So it's like Ed Sheeran has a lot of videos of him playing a parlor. It's just like a smaller guitar, smaller acoustic guitar.
That's cool. All right. Well, for my whiff, again, keep it short and sweet. I was helping my dad build a deck up north this week at their cabin they bought last year, a little floating deck. So number one, it was a lot of work, and I didn't really know why they wanted a floating deck. I thought there could have been money and time and effort spent somewhere else better, but it's not my house. So I was helping build the floating deck, and it wasn't like freezing out. Saturday was like mid-50s, and then Sunday was like low 60s, but it must have been allergies, but just nonstop, like a faucet, my nose running both days. So bad. Like we're out there from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m., him and I sweating, building this deck. I'm just nonstop.
You're just drinking your own snot.
It's so bad.
Ew.
It was so bad, Jack. Just nonstop running nose. My nose was all chapped. I had to lotion it up a couple times yesterday, this morning. I reapplied before I came here.
That's pretty warm weather to have that.
That's what it must have been allergies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm usually susceptible to allergies, but I'm not usually, I guess, outside in northern Michigan in April. I'm usually back home.
When it's changing, when the weather's
rapidly
changing.
So I don't know, but that was a big grind. The deck, we did finish the deck, and it looks good, all things considered. That was a lot
of snot on the deck.
A little bit of
power
snot,
wash it after.
A little bit of blood and
sweat, tears.
Yeah, I didn't cry too much, but just a little bit. But no, it was a good weekend. Some good father-son bonding, I suppose.
Nothing like building a deck with your dad.
It was actually a hilarious. I should put the picture in the episode. He sent me a nice text this morning. He went to work. I was back home. And he was like, thanks for helping me with the deck this weekend. I had a lot of fun. It was a picture of him and I, like, candid. My mom took it from a distance. Just the blurriest picture of all time. It's really funny. Just the worst
Such poor quality.
Yeah, it's really funny, but I got a good kick out of it. So
it's awesome.
Anyways, that was my whiff. Comment down below your whiff. And also comment what you thought of this episode and who you want to hear from next. I have a feeling that Ty Frensnick and Levi Fleer from Westridge Wiffle want to come on and be guests.
Love it.
They play high school baseball, so I don't know how the schedules will align, but I could see them being our next draft picks on the show.
This is why we love the draft, because we just have a stack of guests.
So many guests.
Just weeks of
so
guests.
many options.
Yeah, so many options.
So many options. But great episode. I had some fun today. I did like Jack. We got to do more of those getting to know you.
I like the rapid fire. That was a good idea.
Let me know what you guys thought of that. Other than that, guys, that is a wrap. I don't have much to update on this week. We have the Commish walking in. What's up?
I need some good sound bites for you guys for the preview video this week. So I need you to answer the question, what makes you most excited about the upcoming 2024 season?
Okay, we need to do a sound bite. Should we put them in the pod?
We can put them in the pod.
We'll put it in the pod.
What is it? What we're most excited for?
What are we most excited about for the upcoming 2024 season? Some dialogue needed for the 2024 preview. Let me get some water real quick, Kyle.
Mine's pretty simple.
Go ahead if you're ready.
Defending the belt.
Okay.
That's it.
You gotta put that Q&A.
What Q&A?
My favorite part.
Oh. Oh.
Question and answer. Little question and answer like you're back in grade school.
So what is the question?
Just like my favorite, or I'm most looking forward to, or my favorite part about this 2024 season is going to be.
What I'm most looking forward to this 2024 season is defending our World Series championship.
Boom. All right, here we go.
How's that for a soundbite?
I'm going to make this so dramatic. I'm going to hear the score in my head and just really play into this. I'm looking forward to just proving everybody wrong. A lot of people are saying that we have the talent and it's World Series or bust for the Mallards, but I think we're up for the task. And there's no challenge that we're not afraid of, and this is the squad to do it, and we're going to be holding the trophy at the end of the year. One more. 2 takes.
Take 2.
I'm looking forward to not only proving everybody wrong, but just proving myself and my guys right. We got the squad here. Everyone's saying World Series or bust, and you know what? I agree, and we're up for the challenge. Boom. Put that in.
Mic drop.
Put that in.
Now pretend you're like Timothy Chalamet, like you're super dramatic.
Well, like one more take?
Yeah, just like a fake one.
One more fake
For the
one.
pod.
Okay.
In a world with 8 teams.
I'll make something dramatic. You should use this. I mean, this is everything. This is do or die. Good little soundbite if it makes it or not. All right. That's a wrap on this week's episode, folks. Hope you enjoyed that little sneak peek behind the scenes. Jordan Robles coached the wrestling state champion in 2023, and we will see you all next Wednesday.
Pop it up.